18. 21 points the margin, Bev. Not a bad opening quarter to start VFL round 7.
Not indeed, and I'm pleased to see Scrobelac has managed to kick a goal in that first quarter. Now let's get to AFL. First up in updating scores from Cardinia Park. Firstly, 2 goals, 0-12. Kilpatrick and Lynch 1 each for the Cats. Callaghan is booted the Dockers' only goal. Spider Burton playing his 50th game, and Captain Peterman is not playing today for the Dockers. Let's look at the other match. North Melbourne versus Sydney. 3 goals, 3-21. Blakey, King, Scott 1 each for North, and Kelly and Green, the 2 goal kickers for Sydney. 2 goals, 2-14. Now, the Box Hill match. Box Hill yet to score. Sandy, 4 goals, 4-28, so they'll be happy that they've got the lead. North Ballarat, 5 goals, 2-32 to Coburg, 1 goal, 2-8. To results from the first 4 events on the card at Moonee Valley, and in the first, the Marie Children's Wear Handicap over 1,500 metres, and there we see number 1 Tarot Star from Dacos and Distant Beauty. 4 starts for 3 wins and a third. Tarot Star starting off as the equal favourite. In race 2, number 3 Maybe Rough from I'm Looking Good and Tennessee Oak. The favourite down to 0, finished 5th. And Maybe Rough was 5th at Oakbank last start, second at the Warrnambool races, and has had 16 hurdle starts for 5 wins and 5 placings, so not a bad little earner. Let's look at race 3, number 3 Lady Capel. Blinkers for the first time today. Les Classiques and Look for Venus in 2nd and 3rd placings. Brett Preble, who's having a fantastic season with his 2nd win for the day, won the first on Tarot Star. And in race number 4, Cradle Snatcher from Corante Love and Petit Foulou, the trifecta paying $628 there. Let's go back now to Kramer Street and let's see which huddle are we looking at, fellows.
We're going down to the Preston huddle of Mark Williams, Bev. Gee, and out of those lopsided VFL matches, we have got the close one here today. But let's go down to Mark Williams' huddle now.
Must be tight, fellas. When I say tight, I don't mean this is not tight, fellas. It's not tight. This is tight, side by side the whole time. You need to be tight. The blokes around the centre square, you're letting them in, beat you in. They're getting to the contest too early. You've got to be faster. You've got to be quicker. You've got to get into the contest and being in there. On ball is tight enough. All right? Fellas at tackles, being a bit flimsy, a bit soft. Come on, shoulder down, get them, grind them in the ground, ball on them. Come on. Make them earn the ball. Don't let them take the ball away so easily. Come on. You see, if we start using the ball well, we start playing on, we generate some run. If we start playing on, we start generating movement, we have movement into the forward line, it opens up the whole forward line into space for the big blokes to lead into. Doing great lead. Making some good leading as well. Some good running around as well. We need to get into the forward line quickly. Because their back line's reasonably loose. It's pretty loose. You'll expose them if you can break on and you can run into space. All right? So play on quickly, keep moving, be tight, because one-on-one fellas will beat them. All right? A couple of goals down. What was 5 goals down last week? Right? It's nothing.
Big effort, big effort.
Get on the ground, be tight, turn half-time in front. Come on.
Mark Williams, the coach at Preston, telling his team to get a little bit tighter there. Let's have a look at some of the highlights now from the first quarter. Jack Aziz kicked 2 goals. Here's the first of them, Phil.
Well, yes, and of course Mark Williams is emphasising something that is crucial, being tight. Joskin is there. Is that tight enough? Probably not. They should have got more numbers into that contest there. But it is exactly right. If they are to knock over Werribee, they've got to play really tight. Here, they got something moving, Preston. They had not used the ball perfectly in the first part of the game. They'd wasted it. This is a pretty smart bit of play here. You see some beautiful camera work there as the player holds the ball in. That was McGregor, of course.
He doesn't end up with the goal.
He doesn't end up with the goal. Probably should have.
And this is Kellett's goal.
And this is the one I mentioned with Kellett running in there, yes, and the player not coming. Ross Mann, I'm trying to find his name, who you saw on the left of screen, just should have put the pressure on, and we see Powers here. Should have been holding the ball there, but the Knights were good enough. Powers there, undecided. You could see what he wanted to do. He wanted to bring the player in, create a loose man. And there's the kicks. Werribee, of course, more kicks. Not much in the marks. More of the ball in the handballs. And free 7-1. We'll have to talk about the umpires, yes.
Down to Ross Booth. Ross, what did you glean from the Werribee huddle?
Well, they break up into three groups. Donald McDonald spoke to the backs, Peter Williams, the midfielders, and Jason Love, the forwards. So it didn't leave much time for Donald to actually blast them, as it were, you know, even though they were a lead. But he just said one thing, really, and that is don't try and manufacture something. If you're in doubt, bomb it along. They've got some good key forwards up there, namely Jack Aziz.
All right, thanks, Ross. Pulai wins the ruck contest, but the Knights managed to glean first possession. Haberman out wide. Gee, good juggling mark by Booker. He was impressive in the opening quarter. Towards centre-half forward. Pascoe to target Taylor, though. Good mark. Over a couple. Decides to play on. Brought towards the grandstand side. Gee, flying high at the back there. Saunders couldn't gather. This is power. Left foot kick. Goody should gather for the Tigers. Does. Handball to Atkins. Now the free kick held on to too long there, Goody. It will come back. It will come back. The leading stats to quarter time for Preston. Scott Granger had 7 possessions. Blagrave had 4. Frost had 10 touches for Werribee, 6 kicks, 4 hand passes. Seagowans had 8 and 5 for Kellett. And also Scrobelack had 5 and Whitnell 5 as well to quarter time. The margin still 21 points, no scorers yet early in the second quarter. And after that delay, everyone is manned up, so Goody really shouldn't have too many options here except to go to a marking contest. He does just that. Sutton the target. Well punched away by the Knights. Pascoe initially got it out. It comes to Majorana via Blagrove. This is Pascoe with a second effort. Gets caught. The meat in the sandwich there. Knights at the bottom. Has it stolen away by Faulkner. Now Goody. Gee, it's tough now, isn't it? Pascoe and Frost, they tie each other up, and we'll have a ball up.
Should have done better, though, there, the Knights, when Majorana had hold of it. They're just a little bit indecisive. The handballs were in close. They need to clear out a little bit of space, get into that corridor.
Quite spongy out there, the ground too. Might explain some of the slipping of the players. Whitnell over Dyer's head. Booker dives, drags it under, pulled off the ball, not penalised. Now there's a free kick being found. Going against Eccles to Kellett. Lead made by Sutton. Atkins standing with his face away from the flight of the ball. Didn't reach him. Sproul. There he slips. But got the hand pass away nicely to Gowans. And his pass is chopped off by Haberman.
So the Knights, a chance to go forward. McGregor leads into space in the middle. Haberman, though, will go deep towards centre-half forward. Pascoe in the pack, but doubling back, and a comfortable mark for Lucas Wilson for the Tigers. Atkins says, send it out wide. He does just that. It'll land in some space. Dyer punches it away to Atkins' advantage. Caught. Gets it away. Gee, they're mucking around. Faulkner back towards Dyer. The Knights forced to the line, and gee, that's probably the best result for Preston, a boundary throw in.
Yes, good work by Preston there, putting Werribee under a bit of pressure.
Granger and Wilson to contest. In the end, though, Whitnell wins it down. Pascoe played for 3, not there. Atkins, the hand pass over the top for Kellett. Gee, good skills there. He'll be happy to see it over. And he does another boundary throw-in. So not much happening in the opening 4 minutes of this second quarter. The margin there, the upper left of your screen. A beautiful Kramer Street Oval, 21 points.
Clinton.
It's picturesque, and they've got the Scottish mist happening, Ross. It's wonderful.
Yes, it's not Irish mist. Yeah, big Granger thumps it towards Booker. Oh, Taylor was good with a solid bump. Atkins, quick hands. Wilson. Oh, over Dyer's head. Gee, took it casually. Dives on it. Booker penalised.
Oh. I'll tell you what, umpire Stephen Grun there was just caught out of sight. There were a couple of players between himself and the players. And
so
maybe it could have been holding the ball.
Now Granger missed that ruck contest. Oh, twisting, turning, almost caught high. Eccles, no free. Granger again out of the pack. Out to the right-hand side behind. Kicked by Dean Granger to start the scoring for the second quarter.
Ex-AFL players can't infringe. That was high tackle.
Very, very high, and should have been paid if the umpires were to be consistent, Roscoe, because there was one paid earlier.
You accused me of sitting on the fence.
Whitnell, beautifully weighted
I've
pass to
shamed
Goody.
you, haven't I?
Goody towards the wing. Wilson, a long way from full-back, takes the mark. Crowd thought he played on. Umpire didn't agree. The hand passes come thick and fast. Dyer. Oh, Majorana, good butt. 2 on 2. Majorana hits for the line. Kellett gave a backhander. That'll be a Knights free. No, throw it in.
That was good play by Majorana there, but gee, Werribee wasting the ball. Players just falling into bad habits here, probably because of the pressure.
No goal scored in this term. Majorana unloaded. Knights 2.
Hey, does Sigrid need a partner for sea change? I reckon that's some good acting.
If Frank Sinatra had known that little routine, he'd have lived another couple of years. Have a look at that.
It did get him high, but not where he felt his nose, I think.
No relation to Brian Wilson.
Travis Knights. A high ball. Where are the big men for the Knights? Well,
Oh, should have held, I think Eccles was it.
Whitnell.
Down.
Then Atkins. The Tigers moving it forward, at least in the right direction. Faulkner's over the ball and Gowans. Haberman out of his hands. Majorana on the left boot. It'll bounce in no man's land. Lucas Wilson attacked it. Granger out to Booker. Slips. Goes for the short. Oh, did it travel 10? No. Good give. McGregor from Granger. No space. Now the sub. For his second. Great goal from Anthony McGregor. And the Knights get their 4th. And 2 to McGregor.
Well, that was just beautiful play. Yeah, but it was beautiful to get out of the fix. They were stiff with Granger there not being paid because it just didn't carry. The ball was actually not for Granger, but he popped in and got it. And Booker, of course, there we see it. Bang, there it is. Gets it out. And Mrs. McGregor's boy does a bit of a spin.
That's great stuff.
That is beautiful.
Good finish.
That is great. Play down to the Preston market end of the Kramer Street ground, Roscoe, where I think prawns are on special today.
Faulkner for the Tigers to try and retaliate, and does! No, hit the post. Oh, well, draw breath. Scott Faulkner there. The Tigers out of the middle. 15 points the margin.
That's a couple of times the Tigers have taken out of the centre fill after a goal and caught them napping almost.
A yellow will hug the members side. Has a 2-on-1. Scott Granger there. She went too far under it. Doubling back Sutton. Well done. Short pass. Good. Well-weighted kick. Finds James Gowans. Too far out to score. Fires it towards the lead from Aziz. One grab off the second. This is Haydock. Good work. Little hand pass out. Haberman back towards Scott Granger. Has a couple to beat. Kellett punches it down. Booker. Good work. Majorana. Back to Booker. The old 1-2. Now if they can get it here, the Knights, they can go. Good mark taken as well in the middle by Eccles. He just waited perhaps a fraction too long.
Granger.
Fires to Granger's lead. Yes! He'll get the free anyway. Maybe it was one of those, well, I should have paid the mark, I'll give him the free.
Well, I think he marked it.
Let's have a look.
Oh, you got to pay that. You got to pay it, Roscoe.
I thought Wilson's hands were at first.
Well, but the thing is, it's so...
At the time, I agree with you. But
No,
on the
but even
replay,
looking again, I think they say you've really got to go with the bloke holding the mark. It's such a fine touch, if he even touched it. Fingernail job, Roscoe.
yeah, bend those rules.
50 metres out, Dean Granger loads it up and sends it home. His second, the locals love it. The Knights have kicked the opening 2 to start the second quarter. It's back to none. It's not like the referee in a boxing
Well, let's have a
match.
look. Not bend the rules, Roscoe. What I'm saying is, look at the trajectory of the ball. The touch doesn't, there's no suggestion of a touch there.
Yes.
And you are imagining things that you'd need a 6-inch fingernail all
Ross, I'm
primed
with
up to
Bill.
have got you.
I'm with Bill.
Okay. As long as the rule of law is applied, Phil, that's not the interpretation.
Knights have got it out of the middle. Too many men in the square for the Tigers. Oh, and the out-of-boundary umpires changed it.
No, he called it that way, but the field umpire misunderstood him there, Clinton.
Pulai to Faulkner and Whitnell under pressure from Scott Granger. No, yes, it was not Whitnell at all. Dean Gray. Lead looking for Aziz, but chopping it off the man. Moving it out well is Haydock. The Knights look good running it out of defence. Out of side, Sproul in front. Eccles. Oh, Sproul's done well. Eccles should have taken him out of play. Chris Gowans. The Twins doing well. Dyer now. Attacking hand pass. Gray. Centering kick. Oh, Aziz just caught napping, and Aiello judged it better.
Good play, Mark Aiello, to take the front spot. He took the gamble, and it paid off. If he'd been caught behind, he probably could have suffered. So he took the punt. That's courageous decision by Aiello, and it paid off.
Scott Granger is loose and half back. Scott Faulkner creeping over the mark, preventing him from playing on. 31-40, the margin back to 9 points. 10.5 minutes. Second quarter, high ball coming for the run was Power. At the fall was Booker and Coford, was it?
I'll tell you what, umpire Stefan Grun has had plenty of action, Roscoe, today. I reckon he's been in there to give quite a few free kicks today.
He might get the car keys.
Leading possession gatherer, Phil.
Just about, Roscoe.
He's had plenty of bounces. He has another one now. It'll favour the Tigers, though, but there's Majorana towards the wing. 1-on-2. So I guess if the numbers are always going to win that, weren't they? Sutton to midfield. The kick, the target was Chris Gowans. Now James Gowans takes it. Inside 50 to bounce. Gray charging there for the Tigers. Aiello forced the contest. Oh, slick little hand pass out by Smith. James Gowans gathers near the boundary line. Goes for home. Misses out to the left. Makes the margin 10 points. We've gone 12 minutes of the second quarter.
And we'll see how Aiello goes this time. Zone defences are out.
He waits, goes short. Good pass, Blagrove. It's still trapped deep in the defensive end zone. Short again, Haberman. Touched play on, the mark won't be paid. Gray, just throws it away in the end. Over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Well, technically, if that was prior opportunity, it ends up a throw, and it is holding the ball or a throw. So
they're always a little bit lenient on the ones where it's touched, isn't it, off the boot?
Well, I suppose that's the reason, and maybe that's fair enough. But I think the player knew well in advance, didn't he, that it was because he called it early.
Pillai has the hands on it there. Last man to get up.
But the great thing about our game, isn't it? Interpretation.
That's what it's all about.
We don't want to take that out of the game, Roscoe, do we?
Oh, out of life, Phil.
Yeah, otherwise, every budget would be a good one.
That's right, we'd agree with you all the time. And Smith couldn't keep it in 24. Man, it bounces off the railing.
Do you want to give our listeners, our vast Victorian audience, a bit of a resume?
No, say hello. Cheerio to Mr. Kandasu, head of the IMF.
Well, he's had a big job in Indonesia. God.
Frost. Still a lot to do. Coford.
What, in Indonesia or with Frost?
Yeah. Phil, just getting back to the footy. Coford, what do you think they're trying to do with him? I mean, he's obviously having a ruck roving kind of role, and but he's been a great defender. Hasn't done a lot today. Majorana. Hayward. Oh, ran into trouble. Strong tackle, Dyer. And the bounce. Yeah, Matt Coford usually plays off a half-back flank and a lot of run, a lot of possession. We're trying something different with him today.
Oh, yeah, players are pretty versatile these days, Roscoe, and you play off a back flank, you're usually a runner as well.
Majorana off a nice kick from Blagrove, and the mark taken by Booker. Close to the boundary line. Towards the attacking side of the wing. Off hands, into a little bit of space. Gio sliding into it, Faulkner. Gets it away, Whitnell evades the tackle. Towards half forward, Gowans in plenty of space. James Gowans can run. Has one bounce. The shepherding from Gray from 45 metres out. Great kick to the square, and Big Jack. Oh, push out. Oh, he won't be happy. Aiello takes the free. Goes short for Majorana. Thought about playing on. Oh, that would have Big Jack's blood boiling now.
Yeah, well, the hands weren't up. Wasn't a greater body strength. Hard to call.
Coford. Wobbly kick. They'll need a good bounce. The Knights, they don't get it. And in fact, it's the Tigers who stream forward again towards centre half forward. Punched away by Blagrove. Gray gets the hand pass out. Majorana. Ball underground handball for Aiello. Cofford caught by Jack. Good tackle. They force it out wide to the line. Blagrove trying to see it over. Stacks on the mill. They'll ball it up. The margin 10 points here at Kramer Street in Preston. 2 other matches being played today. We'll get the halftime scores with Bev at the break here.
And Phil McGowan's twins are from, there's one of them, I think that's James, yes, from Anglesey. Perhaps they'll go along with Donald and strawberry blonde their hair. Atkins couldn't grab it. Clark, oh, Blagrove. Faulkner on the left foot, across the face. No goals yet to Werribee in this term, 6 in the first. 2 goals to the Lions. There's Chris Gowans of the twins. Aiello got the lead from Booker. Good kick. Muscled away Sproul, who's quick. Booker pushing it in front. In possession, is he? Over the top, Sproul. It's out. Now it's over the line.
Jim, it would have been a good kick in had he got possession. Just perfectly weighted over the top of the zone defence by Aiello.
Throw in. Pulai couldn't get to it. Atkins to Goody to Frost. Good hand passes and a great delivery to Gray. They're streaming forward. They have loose men everywhere. Gray goes to Aziz lead and he just can't get it. Good work by Aiello to eventually force the contest, and a ball up 35 out from the Tigers' goal as we see Scrobelak come back on the field.
Yes, he's working hard, Mark Aiello. Got a big challenge there on Josh Aziz. He's been able to smother him to date in this quarter.
Scrobelak almost gets the free, not quite. Aziz appeals for the free. Pascoe. Aiello caught by 3 of them. Scrobelak the hand pass out. Oh, Gowan's perfect
Good
hand
play.
pass out. All clear. Faulkner gets the goal. Werribee's first for the second quarter, and it gives them a 17-point lead. We've played 17 minutes.
Yeah, well, that was a sort of break. It was a bit of a circuit breaker, that wasn't it? Because it had been very, very tight. Preston Knights holding their ground. But Faulkner, we see, end up with the ball there. Of course, Faulkner with the job on Majorana.
And yes, played
Sorry, Faulkner. Yeah, I think it was Majorana, wasn't it?
yes.
Yep.
Faulkner played well in Werribee's win over Williamstown a couple of weeks ago. Majorana was clever to get the kick. Eccles the spoil on Whitnell. Whitnell. Oh, she almost turned it over. Wilson. Granger couldn't lay a tackle. Goody's been good. An up and under hand pass again in defence. Werribee mucking about with it.
Well done.
Well done by Clark for the Knights, but Wilson intercepts. Hand pass to nowhere. Atkins was clever to Sproul. Loose forward line, Frost, spoiling on Cofer, didn't hold it, in possession, should be penalised. No, it's been saved by Gowans.
Well, I think that's not a bad call, Roscoe. He could have been pinched there very easily. But umpire Matthew James, who they tell me is having a big year this year in the umpiring department, a little birdie told me, Roscoe, decides the ball up.
Werribee trying to squeeze it forward. Gray from 47 metres out into the pocket. That'll bounce over for a boundary throw-in. Now, watch the budget, Phil, on Tuesday night. Did you have a look at the budget telecast?
No, I didn't. No, I heard it all before. So I thought I'd give it a miss and let Roscoe fill me in on the details.
Throw-in. Deep full forward for the Tigers. Gowans goes to ground and throws it out. Advantage play on both sides. And the umpire ran into him. Oh, they pick him for a throw.
Yes.
Oh, that umpire's late. Tackles now. Dyer, short pass. Not good. It'll find his teammate anyway. In fact, the pass was from Faulkner towards Dyer, and it's out to the right. Oh, it's comic stuff. Dyer gets the behind. Faulkner was the passer. And the margin.
We'll see it there. Umpire down the road.
You wouldn't have left him standing, Phil.
No, bowled him right over.
Aiello goes down the middle. The St Monica's students have got their hearts in their mouths with that kick.
Look at this. Oh, Gray.
puts it very wide, making it hard work for McGregor, but he's got good leg skills. Fine centering kick. Granger on the half volley. Sutton there.
Oh, there was a player in the corridor there, and the ball was sent wide, and that was a perfect opportunity for the Knights to get a goal back.
20 minutes, second quarter. And a bit soft, so umpire throws it up. McGregor can't break that tackle. 31-49 is the score. Having a rest from the Saints today, that gentleman, watching his local team. Frost kept it in well. Majorana coming into the game a bit. Kofod. Taylor, the attempt at the spoil. Wilson in front, through his hands. Whitnell at the back. Support from Dyer. A nice little chip from Whitnell to Jeremy Dyer. He's chased by Booker. Gowans. Wide, and perhaps a bit wide for Atkins, but running onto it, Scrobelack. Good effort by him to shepherd Atkins. Aziz, way up from goal. Atkins again, off the ground. Might have been Aziz, and Pascoe has it. Good play by the Knights.
They're away through Booker. The short pass to half forward. Gee, an ordinary kick. Gray, though, does well. Into some space to Dean Granger. No. Push out. Gee, that's unfortunate. They got the goal at the end. And Dean's face.
Wasn't against Granger. The free kick was paid against McGregor, I think it was, who's alongside Granger. You see it. That's the first one against McGregor.
Well, that's unfortunate for the Knights because they had the goal. Taylor towards Wilson on the wing, has two to beat. Majorana forced it down. Power perhaps off the ground. Dean Granger here, centering ball. Good pass. Delivery beautiful to Eccles. Sees a man open. This perhaps should be a goal for Booker. Still has some work to do. The distance about 45 to 50.
Well, they've only had 6 scoring shots as against Werribee's 14. And there's Guy Booker, number 60. Can you imagine running around with 60 on your back? What number did you wear at Monash, Roscoe?
5.
I would have expected a low number on you because you were a star player.
Guy Booker from 45 metres out. This to make the margin. 2 straight kicks. That's a straight kick.
Gee, you've got to admire Preston's pluck, you know. A youngish side, not got the same experience or body strength really as Werribee, one would think. I haven't sort of run the tape over them, but I sort of would think that looking across the lie of the land. But they're really having a go, Preston, and if they can just keep using the ball well, they'll be in with a chance. Very important that they use the ball well.
23 minutes, here we are, the clock in this second term. And out of the middle go the Tigers again. Beautiful work from Pulo to Frost. Back goes Aziz. And a yellow knocks it through.
That's an enthralling contest, Roscoe, isn't it? A yellow on Aziz.
Just going to say they did it again, Ross.
You see
Whenever
the pair of them.
get the goal, centre clearance always goes the way of the Tigers.
Time again, fellas. No holding. No arms,
Throwing.
fellas. Keep the arms out.
Deep full forward. Werribee to try and reply. Scrobelack got it down. Gowans well tackled. There's Chris Gowans. And the Knights happy to concede a behind.
Well, Phil, the VFL playing the TFL, I noticed that James Pulo's in the squad. He'd be one under consideration, along with, I suppose, Daniel Clark and Simon Clark. And that's great ruck work from the youngster.
Oh, he's a good player.
A yellow. The target is man, has to wait. Ball was knocked away. Scott Granger for some support. Getting the hand pass out was high. And he was caught high. Will take the free kick. 60 metres out. The free kick's 13 Werribee, 5 to Preston. Hyde. Oh, the leap from Frost. No mark. The ball comes to ground. There's a tie-up 35 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Player, they're not really made to kick over the mark. You know, I think it's really important that umpires force the player to kick over the mark, not give him a 2-metre advantage to the side.
Pascoe comes up with it. Majorana, Atkins on his hammer. Gowans missed Hyde, but Faulkner's there. Quick kick. He had a little bit more time. It was a long kick from Scott Faulkner. Couldn't add to his 1 goal.
So 16 scoring shots to 7. Mark Aiello has had plenty of work to do in terms of the kick-ins, but he's one of the best. Finds Blagrove there. Oh, and that's 50 against Shaw. Blagrove gets the advantage.
Still number 1, Phil?
No, well, of course, because the player had his back to us, a bit hard to pick, but I mean, I think that's how you've got to pay him. If a bloke is pushed over, that is an advantage.
Blagrove
Should be an advantage.
to midfield. Cofoot in some space. Now to centre half forward. Oh, gee, up before acceptances. Power claims it. Not there. Touched. Frost for Kellett. Tigers on the rebound. Kellett towards half forward. Will it reach the target? It does. Gray is there. She's got a loose man running forward as well. He decides to go to Frost. Frost has had a great game. Delivers to that man running forward, and he takes the mark. And it's Scrobelak towards us. And Big Jack, he's taken the mark, and he's still giving the umpire a serve.
Well, he had no hope there, Aiello. Once that ball was given a bit of height, it had sit in the air for a while. Jack telling the umpire that the last one should have been a mark too when he paid a free against him.
This will be goal number 20 for the season for Jack Aziz. And it will be, his third today.
No mistake.
So that gives Werribee a handy break of 20 points as we near half-time. 26.5 minutes gone second term. And there's the umpire having a chat to Jack saying, look, we're mates.
Well, that's good, though.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
Yeah, well, I think umpire's explaining there. Jack going off a bit about the previous free kick, but Kevin Mitchell, I think, has really emphasised to the umpires to try to talk to blokes. I mean, one of the problems in the past, Roscoe, was the authoritarian umpires bossing you around, but now they actually talk to you like human beings.
Yeah. Upset some fragile people in the past.
Yeah, there were.
Another penalty, but this time we're going to the Knights.
2-2 now.
The Creds.
4 too many.
To Majorana, hands it off. High ball, not really suiting the forwards. Taylor, big spoil. Dyer's been good. Kellett. They work well in close. You can see the influence of Atkins, I think.
See, look how you pay, not using the ball well, a long kick into the forward line, but getting no return, and you're on the chase now.
Chris to brother James Gowans. Goody, lot of the ball. Sproul, run from defence. Runs to half forward from the back pocket. Looks for Aziz, who's in front, and strong mark. That was a good build-up.
Yes, it was. But, you know, Ross, a kick from Preston into the forward line, long kick to no one in particular. They haven't got the tools there to take the marks. Comes back and Aziz, if they kick the ball high to Aziz, then Aiello is in a bit of trouble.
Short on Dyer. Gee, just too much space, Phil.
Yes, indeed. I'm thinking that Big Jack was Joshkin. That is, was going to kick the goal. And he outsmarted them.
Jeremy Dyer's kicked one.
It's an important kick this nearing half-time.
Isn't it ever? This will really hurt the Preston boys.
Lead already 20 points. Werribee, one of the top 3 sides at the moment, one would think. Asserting their authority. Looks all right. 2 goals to Jeremy Dyer. And the lead, 26 points.
Well, you just cannot give the ball up against a side that's got a little bit more talent than you've got to be really on song against them. That's not the case for Preston. When they misuse the ball, they pay dearly. They get a lot of runners back through the midfield, Werribee, and that was on that occasion what happened. They were able to get it to Aziz easily, and then to Dyer, and the big one.
Gee, for all the work Preston's done this quarter, they've been outscored 3-6 to 3-1. Neither side can get the centre clearance here. We'll have a secondary bounce.
You see there, Pulai, too much height for Hardenberg at the centre square, make it very difficult for him. We'll have a look at this centre square, just see who gets the hands on the ball.
It's a poor bounce, favours the Rovers. Dyer got the ruck contest. The Tigers were away through Faulkner, but the siren sounded to signal half-time. And I mentioned in that second quarter, Werribee kicking 3 goals 6, Preston kicking 3 goals 1. The Knights came within 9 points and then 12, but 2 late goals for the Tigers gives them the lead by 26 points at half-time, 9-9-63 to Preston at 6-1-37. As we see the goal kickers, Big Jack with 3, Dyer 2, Dean Granger has 2 for Preston along with McGregor. And Phil, those late 2 goals for the Tigers have given them a very handy break.
Well, they have. I mean, Preston are sort of clinging, aren't they? They're definitely under more pressure. Even a casual observer would notice that the Werribee side's just got that touch more talent, a little bit stronger, and they've got a couple of tools where it counts. Aziz in the forward half, Pulai in the ruck. And so Preston must not turn the ball over. They mustn't waste a possession. They've got to be neater. And when they're not neat, Clinton, they really pay. So they've got it against them. The small players have got to dominate. They've got to get Travis Knights and Majorana really firing up into the corridor, trying to keep the possession of the ball and not waste it. If they do, they'll be in with a chance, but they've got a battle ahead of them.
They have indeed. At half-time, here at Kramer Street Oval in Preston, Werribee 9-9-63, leading Preston 6-1-37. The margin 26 points. Bev, stay with us for the second half. Should still be a good match. Preston, they need some work to do. I know you're going to bring us up to date with all those other matches, including the Box Hill Sandringham game, which you were hoping that we were doing today.
Thank you, Clinton, for reminding me of my faux pas yesterday, and apologies for those of you expecting the Sandy Box Hill game. But a terrific game, and no doubt that second half, there's lots of fight yet in the Preston side. Now let's look at the AFL games. First up, Geelong and Fremantle, 6 goals, 1-37. Let's look at the goal kickers for Geelong. Kilpatrick, Lynch, Stone and Spinks, 1 each. Callaghan, the only goal kicker for the Dockers, really trailing badly. Lots of behinds, though. Spider Burton playing his 50th, and perhaps feeling the loss of no captain today, Peter Mann, off the ground. Let's look at the other game, North Melbourne, Sydney. Lots of single goal kickers. Kerry, Scott, King, Blakey, Rock, ground for North. Kelly's booted 2. Green has just got another, so that takes his tally to 3. Nixon, Armott, 1 each. And Brett Allison has been carried off the ground with a leg injury after a high-flying mark, so he's not looking too good for the rest of the match. Now let's look at that Box Hill Sandy match, and Box Hill are on the board, which is good news, but Sandy well ahead on 8 goals, 654 to Box Hill, 3 goals, 220, and North Ballarat well ahead of Coburg, 8-3-51. Phil Cleary won't be happy. Coburg 1-4-10. Now to the running of the first 4 events on the card from Moonee Valley. Here's race 1.
About 4 or 5 wide, sweeping up towards the home turn, and the rest are headed by Black Nugget, and Blackbean's dropping out of it. Up to the turn now, Dacos on the inside, Distant Beauty and Tarot Star is coming at the pair of them around the home turn, and they're booted away now on Smoke Me, but Tarot Star, the favourite, took the lead and looked all over a winner. Tarot Star straight up, half a length, now a length and a half in front. Dacos is fighting on well with Distant Beauty for the minors, but Tarot Star is going on to win well by about 3/4 to Dacos, who held on very well, and ahead away Distant Beauty third, clear of chance.
So there we see Tarot Star from Dacos and Distant Beauty. Brett Preble with his first win on the equal favourite Tarot Star for the day. Let's take a look at race 2.
Good, swings around the home turn with about 200 to go. Maybe Rough 2 lengths away into second placing. Then came Moon Chase and a gap to Tennessee Oak. I'm Looking Good, led in the straight now. Maybe Rough is still coming. He's got a huge heart, this horse, Maybe Rough. He's ranging up on the outside, taking the lead from I'm Looking Good. Maybe Rough just in front. I'm Looking Good, booting back. They go to the line, and Maybe Rough. Maybe Rough's wanted a long head to I'm Looking Good. Huge win. Tennessee Oak grabbed third, 3 lengths away.
Yes, 5 starts, 16 hurdle starts, 5 wins and 5 placings for Maybe Rough. I'm Looking Good and Tennessee Oak, and the favourite down to 0 finished in 5th place. Here's race 3.
Clear to Gypsy Dale, flat out. Look for Venus on the outside, and Lost Classic is starting to run on quickly. It's now Lost Classic after the leader. Look for Venus. Lamolokai found nothing. Lady Capel on the inside. Lost Classic hit the front though. Smoky Trelaw going for home. Lady Capel flew on the inside. Oh boy, not much in this here. Lost Classic. Lady Capel put in a dive right on the post. Close for...
Never learned to talk French down at the track, but there we go, number 3, Lady Capel from 2 and 7, and La Molokai finished last. Favourite, how about that? Brett Preble with his second win for the day. Here's race 4.
as they came towards the bend. It set up a good margin. Cradle Snatcher leads by 3 lengths. Rosiska. Carrot Love getting to the outside is starting to come home. Petite Falou battling. Persuasion gone, but Cradle Snatcher leads by 4 in the straight. Carrot Love is into the clear, coming home reasonably well, but Cradle Snatcher with 55 to go leads by 4 lengths, and Cradle Snatcher wins it in a breeze by 3 lengths. Carrot Love, Petite Falou a length and a half away third.
There we see the results. Interesting to note that Cradle Snatcher had his tongue tied. An unusual practice, but the first time he did it, obviously worked 6 placings from 7 starts, and that's the first win for Cradle Snatcher. Last week, Vic Safe were concentrating on home security as part of their ongoing Confident Living program. This week, Kelly Day continued on the same theme by asking Senior Constable Gary Forkas what steps the elderly should take to ensure their safety when going out.
There's many things they can do at really no cost, Kelly. Number one is let people know where they're going. All right, so if they're going on a trip or even going to the shop and they're of a frail age, notify the next door neighbour or maybe a relative saying, I'm leaving at this time, I should be arriving at the destination at that time and I should return at this time.
What are some simple steps so they're not robbed or have their handbags snatched?
Yeah, we actually talk about, there's a bum bag which actually goes around the waist of people, which is quite a good thing. So a lot of the older people brought up in the old days have their shoulder bags and they only have them sitting over their shoulder. We actually advise them maybe putting them over their head and across their body, which makes it a little bit harder for the actual offender to actually pull it off them. But also the wearing of a bum bag is quite safe also. And we also enforce the older people not to carry all their valuables. Unfortunately, a lot of these people now do carry a lot of valuables around with them, so we actually educate them to actually not carry all the valuables and to leave it in a safe place.
So what about people if they are attacked and their handbag's going to be snatched or something like that? What's your advice to them?
Let them have the bag. You know, their health's more important. The older people, as we know, if they have an injury, we get over it in a couple of days, their physical and the psychological impact on these older people can be very devastating. With
the invention of personal alarms, would you advise older people to carry those?
Yes, we certainly do. We have personal alarms. There's a few types in the market nowadays, and they're quite a great deterrent for the older people to carry around. And it gives them that feeling of sense of security, and it comes back to our program, Confident Living for Older Victorians. So if we can give that confidence back to the older people by carrying the personal alarm or whatever, it's great. We've achieved our goal.
3 games were played in the National Basketball League last night. The Melbourne Tigers defeated the Canberra Cannons 88-86, so a close one. Andrew Gaze top scored with 36 and took MVP honours for the game. Newcastle, who are still on the bottom of the ladder, have had a huge win over Sydney Kings 109-96. Isaac Burton MVP in that match. Shane Heal top scored for the Kings with 23 but was unable to steer Sydney to a win. And finally, Brisbane have beaten Illawarra 90-88. Steve Woodbury MVP for the Bullets. Well, it's a huge day for soccer fans in Victoria with the grand final of the National Soccer League being played at Olympic Park between South Melbourne and Carlton. You would think it's old AFL days with South Melbourne lining up against Carlton, not to mention all the discussion around an Australian bid for the World Cup in 2010. Joining me today is Soccer Australia's media manager, Steve Coppings. Thank you very much for coming in, Steve. Now,
pleasure.
Big match. It's great to see an all-Victorian final today.
It is. It's rarely happened, but 2 great sides, and what a cracker of a crowd we're expecting.
How many people are you expecting to come along?
A sellout. We're looking for just under 20,000.
Which is terrific. Now, whose fans are going to outnumber whose?
50-50.
That's what you're hoping for.
Certainly.
Now, South Melbourne have probably got the edge on Carlton. Historically, they've won, what, 4 out of 5 encounters? 3 out of 5?
That's right, this season, certainly. And they're relatively old club. Carlton are the new boys in the league, so tradition does say South Melbourne.
Now, Carlton, as you say, relatively new. They're doing better than their football side, though, at the moment.
They certainly are. They're showing the way there, aren't they? Terrific season for them. 2nd in the league, in the grand final. Congratulations to all the people involved in that team. Now,
how's it been since the World, let's talk World Soccer for a moment, the World Cup potential qualifier against Iran, and it was high hopes. Everyone thought it was just a matter of time we would get in there, and great disappointment after that.
Yeah, it's been a funny five to 6 months since that dreadful game now. We can look back and say that 2-2 draw. But we're moving on. We're looking to the future, and the current 2010 bid, well, that's a terrific boost for the game.
So what is the likelihood of us getting, I mean, we had that rather disastrous bid I think was it for the 2006 games, where the Premier was going off and really jumping hurdles and not going through the right channels. Is this more likely to come off, do you think?
It is. It's done through Soccer Australia and Melbourne Major Events, and that's the way to go. It's going to be underwritten, and it looks like we've got the full support of the FIFA delegates that are out here in Brisbane this weekend.
So we've spoken to them recently?
We have, and Joe Havilange, the president of FIFA, has given his full backing to the bid.
Do we have to be playing in the World Cup to be hosting the games, or do we have to qualify?
We don't have to qualify, which is a beauty. So if we do get it, we're in the finals, which is fantastic news. Not.
So I mean, we just automatically are in the World Cup.
We qualify for the World Cup finals themselves, yeah.
So that might be an easier way of getting in than playing.
Well, that's a joke going around the soccer circles at the moment, yeah.
Sorry. Now, another big event tonight, of course, is Arsenal-Newcastle on time taking on in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, Arsenal, what a season they've had. They've won the championship, clear favourites for today's game. That should be a great game. I mean, Arsenal, what a side. They've got £50 million worth of players involved in their team, so they should win.
So, I mean, that's an interesting part to soccer. I mean, in Australia, it's sort of, I guess, we're still trying to find our feet and build it up, and we've got a number of players who play at world level, and it's a big earner, soccer, isn't it? Yeah, we tend to forget that in Australia sometimes, that players can earn huge amounts of money overseas. Players like Mike Bosnick are probably earning $10,000 a week, so capabilities of earning big money, head overseas, but hopefully we can keep them here in the not-too-distant future. Terry Venables' departure, is that disappointing for Soccer Australia? That's a huge blow, but like the World Cup failure to qualify, we've got to move on as well. So we're looking to a new coach, and perhaps one of these coaches today, the grand final, could well be a new Socceroo coach. So will the scouts be out tonight having a look? They'll be keeping a close eye. You'll be down there, I take it, and then staying up all night for the FA Cup? Yeah, we've got the Scottish Cup final as well. So it's about, heavens, who's playing in that? Hearts and Rangers, so another great game. OK, give us your tips. Who's going to win? Let's start with the local. I'll go for the new boys, Carlton. OK. And I'll go wild and say Newcastle. And I'll go for Hearts as well. So the underdogs in all three. OK, he's an underdog fellow. Stay with us. We'll go out to the fellows soon at Kramer Street. But let's look at the half-time scores in AFL and VFL games being played this afternoon. Geelong and Freo 7-1-43. Fremantle still battling 1-8-14. Let's look at North Melbourne 6-7-43 to Sydney 8-7-55. In the half-time scores for VFL Box Hill 3-2-20, Sandringham 8 goals 6-54, North Ballarat 8 goals 3-51 to Coburg 4 goals 4-28. Let's rejoin Clinton and Phil for the third quarter in today's match. And Phil, I know you're a soccer mania. You're going to be staying up all night, aren't you?
Is there a game on somewhere in Australia tonight? Oh, it's that one overseas.
You really are one of those giraffes with the head in the sand. There's only VFL for you. You're a true loyalist, aren't you?
I am a loyalist, yeah. I haven't got enough time to follow all these sports. There's games played everywhere. I'd rather read a book, Beverly. Oh,
what about you, Clinton?
Oh, I think it'll be a great match tonight between South Melbourne and Carlton. I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
Is that the one you're talking about? Is there an English one on?
Yes, the FA Cup final we know about, but South Melbourne and Carlton, there's been great press about it too, Beverly. I think full credit to Soccer Australia, the motorcade through the streets of Melbourne yesterday. I think it's been well publicised, and I don't know whether I heard there was it is a sellout already or not, but it'll be a great,
it's close
great match.
Too, I'd say so, isn't it, Steve?
It's very close, yeah.
Yeah, it is close. And I mean, what do you think about the lineup? South Melbourne probably just the favourites at this stage, but Carlton, I guess they've got nothing to lose.
Well, that's right. Eddie Krenchevich, he was on our Grandstand on Radio program this morning saying that he doesn't feel under pressure now. He felt under pressure for the preliminary final against Marconi, just the pressure on him there to make the grand final. But now that they've made the grand final, the pressure's off. So he's quite relaxed about the whole thing. They only squeezed through with that last-minute goal, but it should be a great game. And I think South Melbourne perhaps just too strong.
Oh, no, Bev. Jack Elliott is a soccer aficionado, so Carlton will win in a canter because of Jack's pre-match address.
I was wondering how long it would take for you to get that in, Phil. Now, boys, let's hope that the second half really tightens up a little down at Kramer Street.
Yes, thanks, Bev. Yes, 26 points the margin at half-time at the moment. 9 goals, 9 playing, 6 goals, 1. Werribee the leader. And it was interesting, I had a look at those other VFL scores from being played around the place. Coburg, a couple of late goals against North Ballarat, but North Ballarat, full credit to them this year, having a great season.
Well, we could have a country final, Clinton, so we could have a final up there in the place that produced the Eureka Rebellion way back, so that could be big for Victorian football, but it's great to see them doing well. Bendigo, they're only a year off the pace too, I reckon, and so that's good for the whole VFL.
And the potential Gippsland may come in next season as well.
Well, look, we've got to have that area in the competition, so I know Ken Gann will be working hard to make that come to fruition, and things are looking pretty good in the VFL. You know, as we said, I mean, I was sounding off this morning about when we started this today, but look, the VFL's got to be nurtured, and there's a lot of talent running around, good young kids, good coaching staff and the like. And today even, you know, it's an interesting game today because you're seeing Werribee with just a touch more class. It's one of those classic games. The battling young side, the Knights, working. When they turn over, it costs them. You know, make a mistake and you lose the ball. And you've got Joshkin down there in the goal square, the big black.
Tough to dislodge, isn't
he? He is. And I mean, I know he's around the 30 mark, but he's still a good player. You know, I mean, look at Lockett's a class act and way above a Joshkin as is, but in their different territories, you know, you get the ball down to Lockett and you pay, don't you, the opposition?
Well, the margin 26 points at half-time. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from the second quarter. You mentioned Big Jack. We'll see him shortly, but first McGregor for the Knights team getting a goal and getting them back, I think, within 9 points at this stage.
Yeah, it was a comedy of error, really, wasn't it? Because the big bloke Granger there slotted in, took the ball, number 9, but it wasn't paid the distance, handed it over to McGregor, Mrs. McGregor's boy, and he pinged a goal.
This is just some good Werribee play here, some good build-up. You can see Aiello at the end of this will beat Big Jack, but some very good build-up.
Yes, this is an enthralling contest, and I'm glad our man Chris, the producer, there's thrown that win in because Aiello, smaller than his is, under a fair bit of pressure with the ball coming down with the rapidity, but still holding up.
We finish here with a couple of Big Jack goals, and he was at the end of it, and a couple of strong marks in the goal square.
Yes, well, see, look at that. He's got no hope, Mark Aiello. Even the boy from St Monica's couldn't do anything about that. God smiled on him, but still that wasn't enough because the ball floated over the tap, and there's the big bloke. He's been a great VFL player, and if you look at the kicks, courtesy of Paul Field there, not much in it, 17.
But look at the possessions overall. Werribee 21 more handballs, 17 more kicks. They've had 38 more touches.
Yeah, well, I think it sort of looks like that out on the field, doesn't it? And the hit-outs, of course, Pule in the ruck has got an advantage over Hardenberg, and that's where they're getting a good sort of, getting an ascendancy. And see, Paul mentioned to me with Majorana, he's had a bit of the ball, sure, but you notice he's under pressure, he's sort of under, and he's slipping little kicks out at 45 degrees, so he's not really able to really set the game up. So that's where they're struggling a bit. They need to get into the corridor, get a bit of space.
Well, we mentioned one famous name there during the second quarter, Brian Lees. The good news, Ross Booth, as always, he has him now.
All right, Brian, so much noise down here. These little leaguers. We've got Brian Lees, former Frankston player, and helping out today with the Knights. What's the story?
Been doing a bit of work with Preston. I'm actually playing over in Adelaide, but I'm training over here a couple of nights a week with the Preston boys, and they asked me if I'd come down today and sit in the coach's box and try and work with a few of the younger guys in the back line, so I was happy to do so.
And you're with Port Adelaide?
Yeah, Port Adelaide and SANFL. We're going along okay. Won our first 4, lost the next 2, so we've got the bye this weekend.
Okay, and Frankston and don't see those boys now?
Oh, I'll probably go and watch the Frankston boys tomorrow and see how they're going quite well. They're not missing me too much.
Yeah, okay. Good on you, Brian. Well, they dragged them in February, the Preston Knights. Brian Lee's the former coach. They've got no troubles, he tells me, in terms of injury. Either side has no injuries. And I think Brian's pulled a bit. He's going to give young Hayward a go in the ruck to try and counter young James Pule. And sorry about dropping that microphone and all that. Very noisy down here.
Well, just thinking, Roscoe, that Brian Lees could get a gig in Sea Change. He's got those handsome sort of Hollywood looks about him, hasn't he?
Well, he has, and in fact, well, the Werribees, Phil James and Chris Gowans, they come from Anglesey. Maybe they know the new magistrate down there, because it's down that way, Sea Change, isn't it?
It is. It's set down there, Roscoe, as you well know, because you were there with a gin and tonic last Sunday night, as you will be tonight, watching that great ABC production.
And Ross, if you're still with us down there, what about just in terms of the weather? From our commentary box, it's looking very, very dark at the moment. What about out on the ground? Any chance of rain?
No chance of rain, but it's still very misty. I don't think there's any chance of seeing any sunshine. But as we were talking during the comedy, the ground having been re-drained over the summer with $100,000 worth of work from Darebin City Council is very spongy. You've noticed the players slipping and sliding, and there's just a little bit of dew on the ground making it a bit difficult. But no wind advantage to either end.
Now, Roscoe, There is not a council out here at Darebin just at the moment. It's a commission, my friend.
Thanks for correcting me. Look, I stand correct. Doesn't happen very often, but thanks very much for picking me up.
I think the councillors would like, the Labor councillors would like to let people remember that.
Thank you, gentlemen. The leading stats winners to half-time for Preston: Majorana 13 touches. Booker has 15 possessions and 5 marks. Scotty Granger 8 touches. Blagrove 9 possessions. Pascoe no kicks, 8 hand passes. For Werribee, Frost with 14 touches has had a great game so far. Chris Gowans has 14 touches as well. Goody with 12 and Faulkner 9. So they're the leading stats winners. There's the score. The margin 26 points as we get underway for the third quarter. Werribee to your left, Preston to your right, and Pure Light, as Phil mentioned, having a good run in the ruck contest so far. He gets it going forward. Bit of a scramble now, perhaps a chance for the Knights to get away. Hayward did well, went through the hands of Majorana. Pascoe, Dean Granger charging out on the 50. Wilson a little quicker there. Now Booker off the ground, only as far as Taylor. Hand pass stolen by McGregor. Good tackle applied by Dyer. What a good one. Phil just wrapped him up, forced him down, forced the ball up.
Yes, as an art to tackling, you see players who just go for the hips and don't worry about looking at the ball. That was nice and neat there. Collared his man.
Over the shoulder on the bounce. Dean Granger will get it. Goes against Wilson. Too far out to score. He's going to load it up. He's gone for the torp. Doesn't get onto it. It'll drop to the front. Forced down by the Tigers. Goody concedes a behind.
Now, it would seem that Mark Aiello has been moved to the forward line, Roscoe. I'll be trying to give them something. I think he's as good an opponent for Josh Qtrs as anyone, but probably an attacking move by Mark Williams.
Whitnell kicks to a 2-on-1. Cofford at the back for the Knights. Gee, used his body so well it took both he and his opponent out of it. Kellett to Frost. Will it set? It does. Good gather. Back to the running. Kellett runs out of room, kicks it out on the full. So it was a good setup initially from the Werribee side, but the end result not there. Booker short, Majorana. Margin 25 points. Now Booker just building up plenty of touches through the middle. Hand pass over the top by Eccles. Atkins tried the shepherd. Whitnell there, the hand pass away. Now perhaps the Tigers can set something up. Faulkner, a sweeping hand pass to Gray. They're looking good. Gray to full forward. Punch away. Chris Gowans was the target. Good punch away by Haydock. Over for a throw-in beneath the scoreboard. And you can see the score there.
And isn't it dark here?
It is.
You wouldn't...
The cameramen have got the aperture up or whatever the lighting is.
Yes, that fluorescent light really shining bright beneath the scoreboard. The manual scoreboard here at Kramer Street. Majorana. Tell you what, that score with the MCG is not easy to read. Oh, running into trouble was Hayward. Eccles. Quick give to Haberman. And Knights in front of Aiello. Two former Coburg players. Oh, turned over to Smith, who's got some pace, loves to run with the ball. Started on the bench. Kick was good to Gray. Oh, from the 50-metre line. Dean Gray goes long. Aziz lurking there dangerously. Was there a touch on it? It may not have been. There wasn't. So Werribee strike first in the second quarter as Donald Donald has a little refreshment. He should feel comfortable. That lead now 25 points.
Well, that was all too easy there for Werribee. Gray, once he slipped the tackle, just went for home. You see there, that comes in, and you'll see Gray here, and there, Granger goes past. And you just got to be careful there. Once Granger committed himself, he's out of the contest. You've got to block the player.
And 25 plus 6 is 31, Phil.
Oh, a bit of inflation. From the bounce in the middle. Knights try to squeeze it out. They really have to try and work something here. Pascoe, there's another hand pass. That's 9. Booker sends it out wide. Aiello, geez, a long way down the ground. Can't gather possession. They've got 2-on-1. They really should have taken that football then, the Knights, but they can't throw in out of side.
I think Aiello's certainly down across half forward. At the moment, there's Travis Knights on screen, as Ross Booth mentioned, former Coburg player, as was Mark Aiello.
Throw in. Frost from behind. Gathers it eventually. Is well tackled. Pulai the hand pass out for Shaw. Twisting, turning, ducking, weaving. Kicks towards half forward. Gowans waits under it. Takes it. Does well. Plays on. Gets the hand pass away. Into space. Great coming towards it. Majorana gets there first. He's got silky, smooth skills and delivers up to the wing. But Whitnell is there for the Tigers and he marks.
Good in defence, Whitnell. Poor kick by Majorana, really.
Oh,
Whitnell.
that's a big kick.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's beaten Frost and... Frost another chance. Tackled by Coford front on. It was Scrobelak who really misjudged that long kick. He might have made a contest. See him in the background, 47, disappointed with not making the contest. But the kick was so long, he was surprised. And the grandstand here, full of your old friends, Phil. Coford to Haberman, close to the line. Gray will be in front, but Goody spoils. So we've got a...
We're not playing with much purpose, really, the Knights at the moment.
In ruck, Hayward, the battle against Pulai, Atkins, Smith, Faulkner. Goody will knock it on, and turned over. Gray's run strongly, up to Granger in the right spot. Dean Granger has kicked two, short on.
Well done.
Eccles, who's a renowned goal kicker.
What are his stats, Paul? Eccles. Just been, there they are, coming up 3 and 2. Gee, that's not enough for a key player.
Granger stands in the square and Eccles moves around a bit. Wobbles it. Didn't leave the boot very well and he should have kicked that. First score to Paul Eccles.
Whitnell to the grandstand side. Well-weighted pass finds Faulkner. Maybe Dean Granger should have had the shot from 50. Misses Dyer. Hand pass puts his teammate under the pump. Comes back to Faulkner. Back to Dyer. Now they're away. Shaw. Beautiful. Sproul. Oh. Does very nicely to twist around. Deliver towards centre half forward. Angelopoulos gets the punch away. Gray the roving towards full forward. Gee, the bounce eludes Haydock. They might concede a behind. They should concede a behind. Oh, they're under the pump now, and Big Jack comes in to force the issue, and they do concede a behind in the end. But oh, nervous times for Mark Williams, no doubt, in the Preston coaching box. The margin 31 points.
And Power will kick it in. Pulai danger for the Tigers, but Hayward is there to make a contest. Booker, Coford, good bounce on the spongy surface. Finds Knights, bit of acceleration, too much. The kick slews off the boot. Fortunate bounce for the Knights. No, it wasn't. Lucas Wilson. Oh, great interception. Travis Knights. Centering kick, lucky to get through. And Granger gets out of the tackle and goals. And gee, did they make hard work of it, the Knights. But Granger kicks the goal and he's got 3 now. Look at the look on his face.
Well, I think it was summed up by the supporters in the grandstand there. It was a comedy of errors. There's Mark Williams there. He just relieved that he got out of that. But gee, Travis Knight's play there. He did a bad kick on the wing, Roscoe, but he went after it, which is really good for a young bloke. And then he intercepted. Look at this. This is great play. He goes after it. This will be a classic highlight we'll no doubt see again during the course of the game. But look at him. Goes after it, intercepts Frost, and then he doesn't kick well. It's nearly lost. And look at Granger. And he does a little pirouette.
Oh, exciting stuff. From the bounce, there was a pack of players, and we'll have a secondary. We thought we had to keep that replay going. Exciting stuff. Back to 25 points. It might spark the Knights. But Pulai dominating the ruck contest. Majorana out of the middle. Oh, good mark. Michael Smith running the same way as the flight of the ball. Centering ball, perhaps a shade risky. It was a shade risky because Knights is there again. Soccer off the ground. Sproul and Knights. Sproul off the ground. Knights brings him down. Good contest. Sproul wins out. Well done. Gets it to Goody. Tigers are away. Short pass. Mark taken by Blagrove. Hand handball to Aiello. Another hand pass towards Booker. Oh, short pass towards Knights and Dean Granger. Granger there, oh, he doesn't get the free. Frost to Sproul. Mini Torp bounces in, over for a throw-in. Gee, Phil, it's exciting stuff now, isn't it?
Well, they're really having a go, both sides, and in particular the Knights, as I said, just slightly undermanned, but really in there, it's just a critical moment in the game. 3, 4 goals down, they've got to get the next one.
From the throw-in, almost, yes. Hayward does come away with it. To the pocket, McGregor. Good punch, Taylor. Over for a boundary throw-in, 50 metres out from the Knights' goal.
And Phil, the standard of the game is better than that early round last year where we saw Werribee beat Preston. Both improved, I reckon. Of course, Werribee helped with the zone. They've got some young players. Purelai, one of their better ones. Chance for Gray, spears the pass towards Aiello. Sproul there, and Taylor for Werribee. Whitnell it is, I should say. And they're appealing for a free, and there might have been a high tackle there too.
I thought he's going to play a high tackle, but the umpire, Jason Quigley, was spot on there and pulling it up. Yes, last year when the Tigers played out here against Preston, they were pretty ordinary, Roscoe.
Down goes Gray. Goody's been a good player for the Tigers. Very busy. Getting out of trouble. Sproul, Sutton. Harassed hard by Haberman. Kick didn't reach its target. Pushed forward by the ruckman. Good handball. Dyer, space. Shepherded by Gowans. Dyer, Aziz's got a long run at the ball. First there is Power. But a lot of space in that Werribee forward line, which is encouraging.
So played 11.5 minutes of the third quarter. A goal apiece so far in this term. From the throw-in, beautifully knocked down by Purelai, but the Knights are there to shark, and they'll clear. Angelopoulos gets it from Haberman. Aiello in the middle. Has it punched away, but still with the Knights.
Handed off.
Bayree, handball over the top. There's still a chance. Eccles to fall forward. Dean Granger spinning. Pass. Gray can't get it. Tigers there in numbers. Should be able to get this one. Oh, the umpire says we'll ball it up.
We're lucky not to be holding the ball, but Granger did it right. They should have got a goal out of that.
So still deep full forward for the Knights. Dean Granger will go up here against Purelai. Purelai palms it down. Handball from Dyer. Booker there to force the issue, but Whitnell should be able to clear for the Tigers. He'll be caught by McGregor. Gets the hand pass away. Still with the Tigers. Shaw. Dyer. Well, they're lucky. Faulkner. Beautiful delivery to Gray. Here go the Tigers.
Gray, nice looking kick. Well, Scrobelack was the target. Power was in front of Aziz. Gray laying the tackle. Won't come out for James Gowans. Atkins lurking there. And there'll be a bounce. 25 points the margin, halfway through this third quarter.
Gee, Pascoe's done a big job on Atkins, Roscoe, as James Purelai leaves the ground.
Yeah, the Werribee reserves players up the back of the grandstand here at Kramer Street. Up goes Hayward. Nicely done. Shark by Frost.
That's ball.
And the umpire.
Good decision.
Agrees with Phil Cleary or vice versa.
Well, look, you know what happens? Good call, umpire. But players duck the head into another player when they're about to be tackled. And it really is difficult for the tackler because you get the old cranium in your face, you know. So you've got to show a bit of courage.
Cofford finds Aiello. 70 out. Was he off? Perhaps not. Good pass. But they're going around the Cape here to try and set something up. Cofford short. Risky. Getting back. Taking the mark. Good grab. Haberman. Distance might test him, gentlemen.
Yes, he would just get to the line, I would think, Clinton. But what a critical kick this is, you know. The game just balanced in terms of, for Preston, in the sense that if they don't get a goal shortly, or if Werribee gets one, they're under immense pressure. But this could give them life.
Good numbers for Haberman today. 45-degree angle. We're right behind it. Right at home. No. Just out to the left, hooking, trying to get the extra distance. So they're creeping back, but only by behinds. The margin, 4 straight goals.
And Whitnell, of course, a very good kicker.
And there's an example to Matthew Sproul. Wrong-footed his opponent. Oh, thought about giving it to short. Didn't. The kick spots Gray, centre wing.
So he had some latitude, Roscoe.
Yes, Gowans. Spears it over Aziz's head. Gowans back to Aziz. Hasn't hooked it enough, this Big Jack. Back goes Dyer with Frost. And a throw in. Sorry, I couldn't help you out, Paul, with the two Gowans. The twins. Devil of a job, Phil.
Well, we could maybe put a stamp on his forehead.
Dyer was dispossessed. Down goes Blagrove. Angelopoulos. Bit of time. Koford. Back goes Faulkner. Oh. And Eccles. Good courage from both players. Eyes on the ball. Eccles comes up with a winner.
Good grab.
So Eccles delivers. Oh, bad kick towards the wing. Never reached the target. Smith in the way. That's the train, not the siren. Centering pass by Smith. Goody. Oh, the handball. Caught. They'll play on anyway. Faulkner runs away. Gray. Oh, not 10. Gee, that's unlucky. That was Gray of Preston. To Majorana. They've got an open forward line if they can run.
Chance.
Granger. Yes.
Yes. Well, Clinton, you know I said earlier, if they could break the ball up in the corridor and get a bit more direct, and you saw it there with Majorana giving Aiello the chance, and Granger always going to get that. And Majorana now is really getting some handballs out that are setting up play. I mean, he's had plenty of the ball in the first part, but he's just become a potential match winner.
Well, this is a must if the Knights are going to come back. Dean Granger. He's got 3.
Nice.
Make it 4. Margin is back to 18 points. Granger gets his second for the quarter.
I must say, Clinton, too, I thought I've suggested a couple of times that maybe that he's not a strong up forward, Preston, but Granger's starting to grow on me a bit, you know. We're seeing him now, Aiello, they're giving him the chance. He certainly
reads it well, doesn't
he? Yes, he does, and he's sort of getting a bit more confidence. He's a 22-year-old, and he's got a bit of size about him, and he's on a player with reasonable height too, and he's going all right.
So the Knights in touch. Hayward just a couple of more inches, making it contest in the middle. No easy clear away for the Tigers, but they do eventually. Kill it. Aziz used the hands well.
Yes.
And Bo James says that's a mark. You'll probably get a good shot of Jenkins' hands, not letting it through. Flat.
And he's being held.
How
Did he still hold it? Oh, I couldn't tell you for sure, Roscoe.
Well, they paid him with that spec at the MCG that time.
Yes, that was just set up, wasn't it?
A bit lucky. So, Jack for number 4. Running off the line. Kick straight though.
Caught that.
4 goals to Jack. Straight.
Well, he's an exciting player, the big bloke. You see there, it is very, very murky out here and hard to be absolutely sure at times whether a bloke's taken a mark. But just on that occasion, the second grab by Aziz wasn't enough. It was a bit hard to tell because he was turning as he held it. You'd reckon probably not, Roscoe.
Oh, I think it was 50-50.
Yes. And the umpire was umpire James, I suspect.
So the margin back to 4 goals. Important one there for the Tigers. Pulo probably won it down, but there's Majorana. Oh, they can go here. Pascoe inside 50. Great. This could be the quick reply. This time, though, for the Knights. Well, isn't it amazing? Well, you can have no goals for about 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden they could come in a flood.
And you get the ball out of the centre square too. Quick way down to the goals.
Lee Gray searching for his first of the afternoon, and he slots it as well. Back to 18 points.
Well, you've got to take your hat off to the Preston Knights because they're really having a shot, or as our big kicker mate used to say, Roscoe, take your hands off to the Preston Knights because they're right in there. And you'll see it. again there, Pascoe, wasn't it there?
Yes.
Just slipping the ball in, didn't flight particularly well. Wasn't great in flight, wasn't fluent, but didn't matter because it landed with Gray.
So 3 goals to 2 in favour of the Knights this term, but out of that centre square, Atkins almost got Werribee clear. Shaw couldn't capitalise.
Doing better out of the centre square, Preston, just at the minute.
Oh, 50, the crowd trying to get it. Oh, it's there.
Yes,
it's there.
To be.
It's Mayorana.
Umpire Stefan Grun.
Yes.
Oh, that's there.
Yeah, it's late, but yeah, certainly Robbie Mayorana's made it look pretty good. Tell you what,
That's
it's become
100. Well, this will be another goal.
He's given him 2 50s, has he?
Must have mouthed off on the way back.
Yes, you don't mouth off at umpires, Clinton.
No.
So, Mayorana kicks his first, and they're within ball. Whittle and Mayorana.
Yeah, you don't want to give up another one.
Ooh. And a little bit of fire back in the game. The spirits of the old Kramer Street.
Can we assume that second 50 was against Whittle, do you think, Phil?
I think we could, Roscoe. We couldn't convict him on it unless we've got the evidence. Let's see if we can find the evidence. Whittle's late. He doesn't do much there, really. He just sort of pats him. Mayorana makes it look good, and umpire Grun says, yes, thank you, 50 metres. And it ends up at about 100 metres because there was a second infringement. And this game is really alive. And there's Robbie Mayorana doing big things at the centre bounce.
8 positions for the quarter for Mayorana. Don't touch that dial. We've got a thriller coming up. And they're going to get it again. And it's Mayorana again. Angelopoulos thumps it on the left. Oh, waiting at the back, goodie. Gee, Gray was up a long way before acceptances. 12 points in it. Here in the VFL match of the round. We've had some thrillers this year. Goody towards half forward. Angelopoulos takes it. And Whittle's off. Whittle's off for that indiscretion. Thanks, Ross. Angelopoulos back towards the wing. They all fly. Who's going to row? Comes out the way of the Knights. And it is Knights to Booker. Has men running on. Booker goes to full forward, 1 on 3. Night Tigers can't take it. Ball spills down. It was Faulkner. Atkins holding the ball. Surely no. A yellow. Bounce. One behind. Oh, goodness. I want to see the Atkins one again. I'm sure he dropped it.
Well, look, Atkins takes him on, Clinton. You know what he's like? He plays a very creative game, and I reckon this is, we'll just get Atkins in here.
Well, there was one, perhaps.
Now, Atkins.
No, if that's not holding on.
I don't know whether he had prior opportunity, though. Right. Just, was he collected immediately?
Yeah, not much time.
Oh, you clear the Boston Strangler.
Saunders. You know we'll be objective with it. Saunders to Frost. Up to half forward. Aziz in front of his man, Power, who slipped but maintained his balance beautifully. Twisting, turning, that's holding the ball, surely. No, Aziz. Hyde. It's really tough now. Diving on a haydock.
That's holding the... You see...
Chris Gowan's got it. He's got it. Chris
He's dead right, the umpire. Under that rule, they've been advised if the 2 players from the one side play for the, holding possession, they'll be penalised.
Chris Gowans.
Kevin Mitchell made that perfectly clear, Roscoe.
Very reliable source. 11 points, the margin, and a rush behind. The director of umpiring, the VFL is
No,
Mitchell.
The doyen of umpiring in Australia, Kevin Mitchell, Roscoe, the doyen.
I'll work out who your reliable source is after a while.
Oh, wobbly kick. Haydock has 2 to beat. Manages to get the hand pass away. Mayorana, what a quarter he's had. He heads for the boundary line. Super. Finds it.
And I must say, it was good to see Bruce McAvaney last night arcing up with the 4th umpire. Finally, Roscoe. Did you hear that? He actually disagreed with the 4th umpire last night.
So I went and watched it live on change, Phil.
And I was there calling, so I didn't hear the 7 call. Man as well tackled. Copeland lost it. Free kick holding on. It'll go Preston's way.
Well, I fell asleep. I started reading the Sun Hercules again, and I got halfway through Hercules and I was gone, Roscoe. I found it more interesting than the footy. I don't know why, but still.
COVID with the footy, yeah. Well, I listened to Radio National, would you believe that?
Oh, no.
It was Tim Lane, Bruce McAvaney and Peter Sterling on commentary. So do listen to Radio National, Phil. You'd be surprised. Goody to Atkins, who was the sports factor with Amanda Smith. Oh, Frost! Got a high one, and Mark being, well, paid the mark anyway, got a free. Blood rule? No, he's
no. Gee, Preston were away then too, Roscoe. It's a critical couple of minutes here for Preston. That's almost a mark. If Aziz's was a mark, that was a mark. Was it played a free kick? It doesn't matter, because Frost has the football.
Might have been paid against Cofford. Frost, long kick with the left foot.
Can't afford a goal, the Knights.
Perhaps a touch far out, I think. Yeah. Saunders is in front. He's been quiet. Got his hands to it. Sproul goes to ground looking for the free. Eccles off the ground. James Gowans.
Trouble.
Purely. Smith, nowhere to go.
No left foot.
Purely. Coming that way, Bayry to Angelopoulos. That's a strange little hand pass. Bit like Gaelic football, that one, but lost it. Adam Taylor.
That's where the Celts came from, Roscoe. Down
Atkins.
Way.
Now Atkins thinking he might have got a 50 for this. Fortunately, he's not a bit taller. He kicks towards the forward pocket. Pascoe back there. Chance for Shaw. He is a goal sneak.
Don't tell me.
Have a look at that.
What a goal! Mark Shaw from the scoreboard. That is remarkable. His second. That is a highlight.
And dare I say, to Essendon President Graham McMahon, you won't see them like that in the Dons twos.
Have a look
at that
this.
goal.
He's on the line.
That is a perler.
Gee, isn't that a huge goal in the context of the game? It makes the margin 3 goals, 26.5 minutes gone.
18 points, you can see. And the Tigers have done well in these centre squares, but this quarter's been better for the Knights. Pascoe was standing still from Majorana. Dyer fighting hard. Second chance, but a free. Right on the siren. 65 to 83. That was a really entertaining quarter in which Werribee added 3 goals and the Knights added 4. The margin 18 points, and Clinton, it's going to be a great last quarter.